Gentlemen, let me ask you something personal. Have you been mixing baking soda into water, drinking it before intimacy, hoping it will improve performance, and yet nothing changes? Your body still doesn't respond. Here's what nobody tells you. Baking soda alone is incomplete, but when you combine it with one specific powder sitting in your kitchen right now, everything shifts. I'm going to show you exactly what that powder is and why this combination could change everything. Before we dive in, quick question. Where are you watching this from? United States, Canada, maybe Australia, Kenya, or Bangladesh? Drop your country in the comments. I love seeing this global community of men who refuse to accept that decline is permanent. Here's the lie you've been sold. Take baking soda. Alkalize your body. Blood flow improves. And yes, baking soda does help. It reduces acidity, it supports nitric oxide production, but here's what they don't tell you. Baking soda only solves one piece of a four-piece puzzle. You're still dealing with oxidative stress, destroying your nitric oxide. You're still dealing with stiff red blood cells. You're still dealing with smooth muscle tissue running out of energy. This is why so many men try baking soda and feel nothing. Today, I'm breaking down 4 mechanisms that work together to restore blood flow after 50. The first protects what your body already makes. The second delivers oxygen where it's desperately needed. The third gives your blood vessels energy to stay open. And the fourth keeps your system balanced. After 50, your bloodstream becomes more acidic. Not dangerously acidic, but just enough to suppress nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide is the molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and open wide. When acidity rises, nitric oxide production drops. Your vessels don't fully dilate, blood flow weakens, and the response you once trusted simply isn't there anymore. At the same time, oxidative stress increases. Think of oxidative stress like rust forming inside your blood vessels. It destroys nitric oxide faster than your body can use it. Your red blood cells become stiffer, and smooth muscle cells run out of ATP, the energy they need to stay open. So when the moment arrives, it's fighting against chemistry, working against you. 4 separate problems simultaneously. And baking soda only addresses one. Now, here's where most men stop. They take baking soda, they wait, nothing happens. What they don't realize is they're missing the critical second half. But without this second powder, you're leaving 85% of the blood flow benefit on the table. Most men alkalize their body and wonder why performance stays flat. I'm going to show you why in just a moment. That powder is citric acid. When you mix baking soda and citric acid together in water, they react chemically. Bubbling, fizzing. But that fizzing isn't just chemistry theater, it's a transformation. Those 2 powders are combining to create something entirely new. Sodium citrate. And sodium citrate unlocks what baking soda alone cannot. First, sodium citrate protects nitric oxide from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is like rust destroying nitric oxide before it can signal your vessels to open. Baking soda helps you produce nitric oxide, but oxidative stress destroys it almost as fast. It's like filling a bucket with a hole in the bottom. Sodium citrate acts like a protective shield around your endothelial cells. Less oxidative stress means nitric oxide survives longer, and when it survives longer, it can relax your blood vessels, open the pathways, allow blood to surge through with real strength. Now, that handles protection. You're producing nitric oxide, it's surviving. But here's what 70% of men don't realize. Even when signals are strong, blood still can't reach where it needs to go. Why? Because delivery is broken. If you're following along, type 1 in the comments. So that's nitric oxide protection. Your vessels can finally receive the signal. Now, here's where it gets crucial. Signals mean nothing if blood can't actually reach the tissue. You need vessels open and blood moving efficiently. That's where the delivery system comes in. Sodium citrate makes your red blood cells more flexible. Your blood isn't just liquid moving through tubes. It's packed with red blood cells carrying oxygen. Capillaries, the tiniest blood vessels, are incredibly narrow. Red blood cells have to bend and squeeze to fit through. When you're younger, red blood cells are flexible, elastic. They glide through easily. But as you age, those membranes stiffen, and when they can't bend, they get stuck. Oxygen can't reach tissues that desperately need it. Sodium citrate improves red blood cell membrane flexibility. It makes them softer, more pliable. Suddenly, oxygen delivery surges. Your tissues finally get the fuel they've been desperately needing. Stamina improves noticeably, sensation sharpens, and that mid-performance fade simply doesn't happen. But here's the problem. Even with oxygen arriving, if blood vessels don't have energy to stay open, everything collapses. Most men get oxygen there and wonder why firmness still fades. What's missing is cellular fuel. All right, you've got nitric oxide protected, oxygen being delivered. Now comes what 90% of men completely miss. Blood vessels need energy to dilate and hold that dilation. Without energy, everything collapses. Which brings me to ATP production. Sodium citrate feeds directly into your citric acid cycle, the Krebs cycle. This engine produces ATP, the energy currency your body runs on. Smooth muscle tissue needs ATP to dilate and stay dilated. Without enough ATP, dilation fails. Vessels collapse. Firmness fades. But when sodium citrate fuels that Krebs cycle, ATP production surges dramatically. Blood vessels finally have energy to open fully and hold strong and stable. This is the difference between starting strong and fading versus finishing even stronger. Type 2, if this makes sense. Type 3, if you've experienced this exact problem. Now, you've got protection, delivery, energy. But there's one more layer most men never discover. During exertion, muscles flood your system with acid, and acid shuts everything down, unless you have something continuously buffering it. So that's ATP production. Vessels have fuel to hold open, but during physical activity, acid builds. And if it isn't neutralized, every mechanism gets overwhelmed. That's where the fourth layer becomes critical. Not all baking soda reacts with citric acid. Some bicarbonate remains, continuing to buffer acidity throughout your system. During physical activity, during intimacy, muscles produce acid. Lactic acid builds up. This causes that burning sensation, that fatigue. The leftover bicarbonate keeps neutralizing acid as it forms before it can interfere. It delays fatigue significantly, extends stamina, keeps your vascular environment optimized even as your body works hard. You're getting transformation from sodium citrate and ongoing protection from bicarbonate. 2 layers simultaneously. Now, I know this sounds like chemistry, but when all 4 mechanisms work together, results are unmistakable. Let me show you with a real case. Marcus, 67, from South Africa. He came frustrated. He'd been trying baking soda for 3 months. Nothing changed. He felt like he'd wasted his time. I asked one question, "Are you taking anything with it?" He looked confused. "Just baking soda." That's when I explained what you're learning. The 4 mechanisms. The missing piece. Marcus started combining baking soda with citric acid in the correct 2-to-1 ratio, taking it 45 minutes before intimacy. 2 weeks later, he called me. "Doc," he said, "it's completely different. I feel warmth spreading through my chest, my pelvic region. I feel ready. Everything just works. Same baking soda, same dose." But now with citric acid, his body finally had all 4 mechanisms working together. That transformation didn't happen by accident. It happened because he understood one critical factor: timing. Your body doesn't flip a switch instantly. It needs time. 45 to 60 minutes to absorb these compounds, shift chemistry, activate pathways. Take it 5 minutes before, and you'll feel nothing. Take it 45 to 60 minutes before, and you enter the readiness window. In the first 15 minutes, bicarbonate starts buffering acidity. Your endothelial cells start sensing the change. Between 15 and 30 minutes, nitric oxide production begins rising. Your blood vessels start receiving the signal to relax. Between 30 and 45 minutes, sodium citrate reaches full absorption. All 4 mechanisms become active. Oxidative stress is dropping, red blood cells are becoming more flexible, ATP production is ramping up. Between 45 and 60 minutes, you enter the readiness window, the sweet spot. All 4 mechanisms align at their peak. Blood vessels primed and responsive, oxygen delivery optimized, cellular energy surging, nitric oxide stable and abundant. This is when your body is ready to respond powerfully and naturally. Gentlemen, try this protocol for 30 days. The ratio is 2 parts baking soda to 1 part citric acid. 3 grams of baking soda, about half a teaspoon, and half to 1 gram of citric acid, about an eighth teaspoon. Mix in water, let it fizz 30 to 45 seconds, drink it, take it 45 to 60 minutes before you need peak circulation. Here's my challenge. Have you been trying supplements or protocols that haven't worked? Type tried if yes. Type never if this is new. I'm asking because most men notice changes within 2 to 4 weeks. Some feel it the first time. Come back and tell me your results. Which mechanism surprised you most? I'm Sophie Morgan. Your body is still capable.